Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. My name is Terry Morgan and I'm here to talk about stuff. All right? That's what I'm here for. I have several things that I have been working on, several things I have been doing, and several things that are not entirely within my control that are changing, and so I wanted to put up an announcement for both the welcome to the new year and welcome to what's coming. All right, I have planned and intend to complete several things that are part of what I have been doing. So I had started a review of Yang style Tai Chi. I'm going to continue that. We have been, and I missed class last week a couple of times because of this stuff that's going on, and it's part of what I'm talking about this morning. All right, so we're going to continue with Yang style Tai Chi. We're going to continue with Wudang Qigong, and I will be up in about 20 minutes or so since I finish this with Wudang Qigong class that I missed on Friday. I will continue also with Xingyi. Again, all of these are things that I intend to do, expect to do, plan to do, and am going to get done. As I work through all of that, one of the problems that has reoccurred repeatedly needs to be solved. I need a solution. I can't keep doing what I've been doing. So, what I'm hoping to do is something that I never wanted to have to think about doing when I moved into this house, but I have to think about it. I'm going to move. I've already started packing. You can see a couple of things here behind me that are not normally in the picture. There will be other things that will be changing as I go through this process. My hope is that on the other side, it's always going to be on the other side, that I will be starting a whole new series of classes and teaching in person. If everything goes well, that happens. All right, so in addition to all of the things that I'm doing with classes, I'm also working on my books. So I just published in August, Wudang Qigong. The new edition is available. I'm using that in the Wudang Qigong classes. So I'm using the material from that book in the Wudang Qigong classes. The other book that I published this year is a science fiction martial arts adventure series, The Ambassador. I published the first one. I've got the audiobook for it. It's available right now, free. It will become not free soon. The second book in the series is complete. Fingers crossed it gets published this month. I've also completed the audio book for book 2, which I'm working on editing. That edit is taking me longer than I intended, so oh well. Again, my fingers crossed that gets published the end of this month. The audiobook and the print ebook, all of it. There are 3 more books. I've set an incredibly ambitious goal to attempt to edit all 3 of them this month. I don't know if I can do it. I started. It takes me a few hours to do one chapter. I have 5 chapters in each of the 3 books. So, as I work through that process, my goal was 1 chapter a day. That ain't going to happen. It ain't gonna happen. So I got 15, 3 books, 5 chapters each. I got 15, I need 15, actually I need 15 weeks, which would be great. If I could have 2 days for each chapter, that'd be better. So that's part of my target is I'm going to try to do that. It's very ambitious. I'm going to say that in a different way. It's mind-numbingly ambitious to try and do what I'm going to try and do. So that is part of why I have been not as reliable in showing up at 7 a.m. for the live stream as I had been. These changes are difficult, and it's part of that process that I talk about when we're learning, when we're paying attention to the arts. I start out with one thing, I learn something, I develop that skill, I learn something more, and then I move on. As I go through that, the emotional changes that I have to go through can be difficult. This holiday was really hard. It was really hard. So, as I'm looking forward to, I know what's past, we know what's present, as I'm looking forward to what I might be able to do. What am I going to work on? What's my focus? Right? That same idea. Well, I want to be able to do the high leg work and the low leg work in Yang style Tai Chi. Alright, what do I have to do to get that? I have to practice my high leg work and I have to practice my low leg work. Develop the strength, rebuild some of what I previously had, and further develop what I already have. That's what I need to do. That same process for me, that same process of identifying the problem, identifying what the possible solutions are. What might this be? What's going on over here? And then looking at what's attainable. What can I do? What would I like? Oh, I like this one over here. That'd be great. Not going to happen. I got it step by step. So what's the next step? That question reappears every time we make a change. Every time there's something that's nudging us to, go do this. Go over here. You don't want to be here anymore. Go. Get out of here. Right? That sense of, or come over here. Stay here. Stay here. This is good. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. This is fine. Be right back. Either one of those. Or, hey, you need to get out of here. You need listening to that sense. Some people may call it intuition. You may call it vision for what you have planned for your life. You may call it that sense of, in creative writing we call it foreshadowing. That the character in the novel is thinking about something that is probably going to happen. All right, I use it in one of the scenes in the book where two of the characters are coming back from a late dinner, and the road's blocked and they have to take a detour. They're talking to each other about it, and we're out here in the middle of the night, we're walking through a dark bar. What do you think is going to happen? There's somebody's going to try and jump us. We're going to have to fight our way out. Okay, well, here we are. That foreshadowing. The road is blocked. We got to go around. We got to go back this way. Okay, this is not the best way to go. That tells us in advance. It tells the reader in advance what's going to happen. That same sort of thing occurs in the real world. We have to pay attention to it. We have to kind of sense of what's going on. It occurs in the real world. People who are stock traders look at it all the time. Economists look at it all the time. What's going to happen next? What might happen? What could happen? What's most likely to happen? I have that same sense a lot of times about my business efforts, right? What could happen, what might happen, what's likely. I also have that sense in my personal life, in looking at my circumstances and situation and what I might want to do. Same as training, what do I want to do? And there's a sense of, this is the best way to go. This is working. And there's a sense of, yeah, don't do that, right? If we're listening to our body, right? There's a sense of strain and stress and that warmth in the muscle when we're doing something correctly. And there's a sharp pain when we're not. If we're listening, we know the difference, we can pay attention to the difference, and we can learn from it. That ability is something that I hope anyone who learns from me also learns, because it is incredibly valuable to your own personal development as well as your own peace of mind. When you think about it, if I'm doing something that's incorrect in a movement, my body will tell me that it's wrong. It'll hurt. Right? Be off balance, just lean, do something. That same sense applies to every other aspect of everything that I do. So I can look at a room and you notice behind me, this room is pretty well balanced. There's lots of different things in it, but it's balanced. I don't have everything all over to one side, it's balanced. That sense of placement, arrangement of things, the arrangement of the arms and the legs, the body, the head in our movements, how we look in the forms that we're doing, how we move in the forms that we're doing. So the outward appearance, the inward movement, the inward strength, all of that is something that we can apply to everything else that we do. We just have to look at it. All right, so my announcements. Everything gets accelerated. Everything that I'm trying to do here, everything that I want to finish at this location, at this time, gets accelerated. Some things I'm going to look at to do later. That restart, which we're probably going to be looking at October, November 2024, give or take. That's what I got. That's what I got. The demo versions of the forms I expect to do while I am here. So sometime over the next 6 weeks, there's going to be a ton of stuff that I'm going to be pushing up to YouTube. Then I may be taking, as I'm moving, I'm probably going to have to take some time where I'm going to be moving. Again, my goal is that once I'm situated, and it's not going to take that long. I'm good at this. Once I'm situated, I'm going to restart all of the classes, and I'll be talking about this a little bit more as I go forward. Restart all of the classes, and I will be opening up in-person classes. It's probably going to be workshops initially, but I look at in-person classes on a regular basis. North Florida, that's where I'm going to be. So I appreciate everybody who is following me, everybody who has been following me, and anybody who's looking at this and might want to follow me. Thank you. It really does make all the difference that you're here and that there's something that you have found valuable that I'm doing. You found it valuable enough to follow me, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'll be back in a little bit with Wudang Qigong.